Hello everyone, good evening, good evening. I welcome you all on your own YouTube channel. We call it as Exam Norm, and I welcome you all in your favorite session, that is Finance Norm. It's basically a finance current affairs session where we discuss all the important news related to the financial world in this particular session, which is live on Tuesday, Thursday as well as Saturday. So today I have a session where we will be covering all the important current affairs for the days, that is 14th and 15th of May. And in today's session, we will be discussing somewhat around 5 or 6 news related to RBI directly. And these news, they have a direct capacity to be asked in the phase 1 examination. तो इस पूरे month में जो RBI website पे important updates थी, which can be asked in the phase 1 examination has been included in today's session, और उसके साथ साथ obviously RBI के जो circulars हैं, जो notifications हैं, वो इसमें cover किए जाएंगे. So before I start, just give me a thumbs up that everything is fine, I'm audible, I'm visible, so that we can begin the discussion without any further delay. Last class was very important with respect to finance norm. I hope you might have attended that particular session. और उस class में हमने एक बहुत important RBI का circular cover किया था. Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember the circular which we have covered in the previous session? Any idea? That circular is again really very important. उस circular से related काफी सारे questions आपके examination में पूछे जाएंगे. And I'm pretty sure if you have gone through with the PDF, you will be in a position to answer most of the questions which will be asked in the examination from that particular circular. So circular की सारी nitty-gritties I have already shared with you. I have already shared with you in the previous session, and I'm pretty sure that you might have gone through with the PDF. उस PDF में कुछ सारी चीजें मैंने नई चीजें भी ऐड की थी, तो I'm expecting that you have gone through with that as well. तो जो questions मैंने आपको homework के format पे दिए थे, if you guys are ready, we can quickly solve those questions which were given as a homework, and then we will be moving ahead. ठीक है, 2 questions थे which have been given as a homework. So let's quickly jump into it and let's try to solve those questions for the current session. Okay? Here we go with the first question. The first question says, consider the following statement regarding the earlier framework contained in paragraph 10. Contained in paragraph 10 of the master direction. So if you remember, ये जो master direction में paragraph 10 है, that has been now removed, and I have given you the detail of this paragraph 10 in the PDF itself. So अगर हम बात करें इससे related क्या points हैं, each tie-up between the bank and non-bank entity requires prior RBI approval. No sir, it do not require prior RBI approval, but what they are trying to ask, they are trying to ask you the content, they are trying to ask you the understanding with respect to the previous one. अगर मैं previous one के अकॉर्डिंग बात करूं, हाँ जी साहब, तो प्रीवियस सर्कुलर के अकॉर्डिंग दिस वाज एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट दैट यू नीड द RBI approval. The normal transaction limit was $5,000 per transaction. The overseas education limit could go up to $10,000. Is it correct? Remittance were allowed to only FATF compliant jurisdictions. This is correct. The customer had to segregate from the service providers own funds. बताओ जरा. I have not seen many comments in the previous session, so I believe that you were not able to solve this question. तो पहली चीज तो ये सर, ये जो question है, that is purely related to the paragraph which has been removed, और ये जो paragraph remove किया गया उसकी पूरी की पूरी nitty-gritties I have given you in the form of PDF. If you have gone through with the PDF, then only you will be in a position to answer this question. तो अगर मैं इस question के आंसर की बात करूं, तो सर जो हमारा पहला पुराना टाइप था उसके अकॉर्डिंग फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट इज करेक्ट. द नॉर्मल ट्रांजैक्शन लिमिट वाज 5,000, करेक्ट. फॉर ओवरसीज ट्रांजैक्शन लिमिट could go up to $10,000 per transaction for education, that is correct. Remittance was allowed only and only to FATF, that is correct. Customer funds had to be segregated from service providers own funds. What is this? Sir, remittance, they were restricted to FATF compliant countries, that is true, but the customer funds had to be kept separate from the platform's operational funds. from the platform's operational fund. So keeping that in mind, this point is also correct. So answer क्या बनेगा sir? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means all the statements are correct. Destination, आपने कहा first statement wrong है because you are expecting that I'm asking you about today. I'm asking you about the past earlier framework के according. This is true. In today's framework, this is wrong. That is a basic difference which you need to identify. Moving on to the next one. The returning NRI may continue to hold foreign assets lawfully acquired while they were non-residents. This is absolutely correct. अगर आपको याद हो कि अगर सर कोई non-resident Indian है, if they are coming back to India, they can hold that particular asset if they have acquired when they were non-residents. NRI close relatives may be added as a joint holder in resident account on either or survivor basis. बिल्कुल सही है सर. जैसे मैंने आपको एग्जांपल दिया था, I am an Indian resident, I have opened up a bank account. If I add my younger brother who is in Australia, who is an NRI, I can add them as a joint account holder, but this account will maintain as a resident account only. This account will be treated as a resident account only, but in this case, the NRI will have the capacity to make the transactions on my behalf, and all those transactions will be carried out only and only in India. If I pass in the near future, that means I met with an accident and I pass away, then NRI can hold this account, but this account has to be converted into NRO, that is non-resident ordinary account. So if the NRI becomes the surviving holder, the account must be converted to NRO, that is correct. IFSC financial institutions are treated as person resident outside India, that is correct. Foreign assets declared under Black Money Act may be regularized under the specified FEMA conditions. This is absolutely correct. So keeping that in mind, इसका आंसर क्या बनेगा सर? इसका आंसर जो बनेगा, that is going to be E option. E option says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is E option. All the options are correct. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गई बात, समझ आ गया? चलो तो आज के इस सेशन की शुरुआत करें. I hope we are good to go. Let's start with today's session. Okay then, here we go with the first question or the first news of the day. The first news is related to 14th of May. So 14th of May ko, there was a meeting conducted, and this meeting was basically conducted, which is called as 33rd meeting of FSDC subcommittee. What is this FSDC? So it stands for Financial Stability and Development Council. So as I always do, first I'll give you a quick overview of the entire news, and then we will be checking out the important areas. इस न्यूज का सबसे important part ये है कि सर what is FSDC? You should be clear with that. What is FSDC? You should be clear with that. First thing, along with FSDC, you should be clear. Along with FSDC, you should be clear with FSDC subcommittee. What is the role of this committee? और जब ये सारी चीजें क्लियर हो जाए तो आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि 33rd कमेटी या मीटिंग में क्या अनाउंस किया गया था. ठीक है जी, स्टार्ट करें. रेडी? चलो. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इफ आई टॉक अबाउट द FSDC, फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी एंड डेवलपमेंट काउंसिल इज व्हाट? सर इफ आई टॉक अबाउट ओनली FSDC, sir, it is an apex body. Remember that, sir, it is an apex body that looks after the stability of financial system as well as the development of the financial sector. Remember that it was set up by Government of India. It was set up by Government of India in the year 2010. And it is a non-statutory body. Non-statutory body means it was created by government, not by any act, not by any law. Not by any act, not by any law. This is something which you need to remember. ठीक है जी, यहां तक क्लियर है. अगला पॉइंट यहां पे क्या कहता है? सो द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट टॉक्स अबाउट दिस कमेटी. This committee was basically set up on the recommendation of whom? Sir, if I talk about this particular committee, this committee was basically set up on the recommendation of Raghuram Rajan committee. Is it true or false? सोच के बताना. I don't know whether you are aware of this fact or not, but I will be discussing it. Don't worry. अगला पॉइंट है कि सर ये जो FSDC है, FSDC के चेयरमैन कौन है? If I talk about the FSDC chairman, so this council is headed by none other than the Finance Minister of India. Its members are Governor of RBI, Finance Secretary, as well as Finance Secretary of Department of Economic Affairs, Secretary of Department of Financial Services, Chief Economic Advisor, chief economic advisor, as well as RBI, SEBI, IRDAI, PFRDA heads are also the members. So FSDC basically करता क्या है? So इसका काम है सिर्फ और सिर्फ मेंटेन करना फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी, प्रमोट करना फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर डेवलपमेंट, एज वेल एज इंप्रूव करना द कोऑर्डिनेशन बिटवीन द रेगुलेटर्स, टू इंप्रूव द कोऑर्डिनेशन बिटवीन द रेगुलेटर्स. अब इसी के तहत एक और कमेटी बनाई गई है, वी कॉल इट एज FSDC कमेटी. We call it as FSDC subcommittee. This FSDC subcommittee is a working, you can say that it is a working or an operational arm. I repeat, it is the working, जो actually में काम कर रही है, working or the operational arm of the base committee, that is FSDC, or the base council, that is FSDC. The committee mainly focuses on reviewing the economic risk. It is watching the domestic and international market conditions. It coordinates between the different regulators such as RBI, SEBI, IRDAI and many more things. Remember that this committee is headed by none other than Governor of RBI. This committee is headed by none other than Governor of RBI. This is something which you need to remember. ठीक है. उसके अलावा if I talk about this particular committee, so this particular committee plays a very important role. It plays a very important role in financial stability, and most important is the coordination among the regulators, chief economic advisor, as well as the Ministry of Finance officials, not minister, Ministry of Finance officials are also the member of this subcommittee. It is also the member of this subcommittee. ठीक है जी, बेसिक ये है. अब पॉइंट आता है कि इस कमेटी, इस काउंसिल की या इस कमेटी की जो रीसेंट मीटिंग है, उस मीटिंग में क्या बातें की गई हैं. सर इस मीटिंग में ऑब्वियसली हर जगह एक ही बात हो रही है, इंडिया क्या, इंडिया के बाहर क्या, दैट इज द जियो पॉलिटिकल फ्रिक्शन. कि सर व्हाट इज द लेवल ऑफ करंट जियो पॉलिटिकल फ्रिक्शन, हाउ दिस करंट जियो पॉलिटिकल फ्रिक्शन इज गोइंग टू इम्पैक्ट द इम्पोर्ट बिल्स ऑफ द कंट्री, एंड हाउ दिस इम्पोर्ट बिल्स ऑफ द कंट्री विल इम्पैक्ट the balance of payment of the country, how it is going to impact the INR, that is Indian rupees depreciation, how it is going to lead to the depreciation of Indian rupees, as well as how it is going to impact the India's exports, how it is going to impact the India's exports. Not only this, they have also analyzed that this disruption in the supply chain, how this disruption in the supply chain will impact the Indian economy in the near future. उसके साथ they have also talked about that the steps taken by RBI and the other institutes for KYC simplification, they have been done good. They have given this point that yes, there is a great progress in the KYC simplification, as well as they have even gone with the regulatory impact assessment as well, that how well the regulators they are performing and how well these regulators they are impacting the overall economy of the country. ठीक है जी, मोटी मोटी ये दो बातें. अब इसमें अगर हम देखें कि क्या क्या चीजें हैं जो हमें याद रखनी है, प्लीज पे अटेंशन. सारी बात मैंने बता दी है. तो सबसे पहला पॉइंट, FSDC सब कमेटी met at Reserve Bank of India. So where this meeting was held, sir, it was held in RBI office in Mumbai, that is the head office of RBI. The meeting was chaired by Governor of RBI. The name is Sanjay Malhotra ji, who is the 26th Governor of RBI. The major topic in the meeting was geopolitical friction, meaning the tension, the conflicts between the countries. The official discussed how such tensions can push commodity prices and disturb the supply chains. The report said that these pressures could create additional strain on the domestic economy. So they have clearly mentioned कि भैया इसकी वजह से आपकी domestic economy पे भी strain आएगा. That is a point. The subcommittee has also reviewed the progress of KYC simplification. It has also talked about the regulatory impact assessment. Regulatory impact assessment means studying how the rules affect people, how the rules affect businesses, how the rules affect the financial system before and after they were introduced. तो यहाँ पे अगर आपने कोई एक नया रूल बनाया तो ये चेक करना पहले क्या हालत थी, बाद में क्या हालत हुई, इंप्रूवमेंट हुई या नहीं हुई, अगर इंप्रूवमेंट हुई तो कितनी हुई. ये सारी चीजों को हम कहते हैं रेगुलेटरी इम्पैक्ट असेसमेंट. मींस व्हेन यू आर क्रिएटिंग अ रेगुलेशन, रूल्स, what was the impact, and if I am assessing that impact is known as regulatory impact assessment. ठीक है जी. Who all are the members? Sir, it includes the heads of SEBI, IRDI, PFRDA and even IFSCA. कोई पूछ रहा था तो बता दूं, IFSCA के heads भी are the members of this particular subcommittee. Along with that, we have the secretaries from different ministries and even chief economic advisor, as well as all the deputy governors are the members of this particular committee. Now going back to the static part says what is this FSDC? So it is an apex body that looks after the stability of financial system and development of financial sector. It was set up by Government of India. It is a non-statutory body which was not created with any law. Remember that. This council is headed by Union Finance Minister. Along with that, it has Governor of RBI, as well as the chairman of SEBI, IRDAI, PFRDA, chief economic advisor, and the secretaries of different departments. What FSDC do? So it basically responsible for financial stability. It promotes financial sector development. It improves coordination between the regulators. It encourages financial literacy, and it supports or it push the country towards financial inclusion. FSDC subcommittee, it is chaired by Governor of RBI. Its job is to follow up on the issues that need regular monitoring and quick coordination. So jitne bhi issues hain which have been discussed in the FSDC meeting, they are looked after by FSDC subcommittee. Jitne bhi unpe discussions hain, they are done. Main functions of the subcommittee is day-to-day work connected with financial stability. That means operational काम जो है वो FSDC द्वारा नहीं, उसकी एक सब कमेटी द्वारा किए जाते हैं. They also solve the operational issues. अगर कोई issue है between the regulators, it is responsible to solve that issue. It includes the governor of RBI as the chairperson, as well as all the deputy governors, chairman of regulatory bodies, as well as the chief economic advisor as the member. ये important क्यों है? Sir, it is very important because any economy with a stable financial system or with a stable financial sector grows or has a positive as a upper hand in terms of growth and development. So a problem is one part of the system can quickly spread to the other part, that is the financial issues, the financial problems. So that is why there is a need for central body that can monitor the risk, improve the communication between the regulators, and suggest timely actions. So this council basically helps to strengthen the financial system, improve coordination and support reforms in the country. Otherwise, the country will fall down. ठीक है जी, तो ये है पूरी कहानी. इसको आप एक बार देख लीजिए. कोई डाउट है तो पूछ लीजिएगा. And further, I will be moving ahead. क्वेश्चन आने के चांसेस अगर आप मुझसे पूछे तो पूरे चांसेस है. काफी क्वेश्चन, एक क्वेश्चन आने के पूरे चांसेस हैं फ्रॉम दिस पर्टिकुलर न्यूज. चलो जी, क्लियर हो गया. आई होप पॉइंट इज क्लियर. Recommendations are binding on the regulators. पहली चीज तो ये, they don't recommend anything to the regulators firstly. Secondly, whenever any recommendation is done, that is done in a close coordinated manner, और वहां पे chairman already present है of the given regulatory body, तो regulatory body will implement that. Why it won't implement that? अगर RBI के गवर्नर वहां बैठे हैं, उन्होंने कहा कि RBI के लिए ये करना चाहिए और उन्होंने उसे एक्सेप्ट कर लिया, then it will be done. तो बाइंडिंग होने की जरूरत नहीं है. दैट विल ऑटोमेटिकली बीन अपडेटेड, बट इट हैज नो बाइंडिंग लीगली. लीगल तो ये अथॉरिटी नहीं है ना. इफ दिस अथॉरिटी इज नॉट इटसेल्फ लीगल, it has no law how its recommendations can be binding. So its recommendations cannot be legally binded, but yes, obviously if the recommendation is taken in the presence of the chairman, then chairman will implement it in its organization. It's quite obvious. Done? चलो क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करते हैं. The question says the Financial Stability and Development Council was constituted in 2010 through the Government of India notification. FSDC is a statutory body? No, sir. The Union Finance Minister is the chairman of FSDC. That is correct. The subcommittee is chaired by RBI's governors. Correct. FSDC was recommended by Raghuram Rajan committee. That is correct. So keeping that in mind, what will be the answer? So A option, that is 1, 3, 4, 5 are correct. Remember that this committee has been recommended. It is very clearly written. See over here, it was recommended by Raghuram Rajan committee, set up in 2008, and then FSDC was set up in 2010 by Government of India without any law, without any act. It is not a statutory body, unlike SEBI, RBI, which are set up under their own act and they are the statutory bodies. Done? Okay. Here you go, guys. Take the screenshot. You have 5 seconds. Take the screenshot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope you guys have taken the screenshot. So this is going to be homework, the first question as your homework. Now let's move on to the second one. The next news is related to what? Next news भी again very important, but उसको पढ़ने का तरीका आना चाहिए. अगर उसमें पढ़ने का तरीका नहीं आएगा तो वो न्यूज़ आपके लिए कहीं ना कहीं एग्जामिनेशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से हानिकारक हो जाएगी. द रीजन इज, प्लीज पे अटेंशन. न्यूज़ क्या है वो देखते हैं. न्यूज़ है सर, रिसेंटली आरबीआई ने, in the recent times, RBI has come up with the scheduled commercial banks statement of position. Statement of position का मतलब क्या? So statement of position का मतलब है RBI on regular basis comes up with the statement of position which tells us what is the total deposits with the scheduled commercial banks, what is the total credit given by these scheduled commercial banks. Along with this, अगर आपने न्यूज कहीं गलती से आरबीआई की वेबसाइट पे जाके देखी तो उसपे भरा हुआ टेबल विद कंटेंट, इसमें भरा हुआ टेबल विद ह्यूज लार्ज फिगर्स, और आप देखते ही लगेगा आपको कि ये तो करना बहुत टफ है. बट मैं इसको इस तरह से लेके आया हूं आपके सामने कि जो इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग दैट. सो द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट विच इज मेंशन इन दिस particular report or in this particular statement is credit to deposit ratio, that what credit is given out of what value of deposit. Even it gives a picture regarding the investment done by the bank. So investment done by the banks. So it not only talk about the scheduled commercial banks, it also talks about the scheduled commercial banks plus cooperative banks. शेड्यूल कमर्शियल बैंक्स प्लस कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स एज वेल, तो उसके बारे में भी हम बात जरूर करेंगे. अगर हम बात करें द बोरोइंग्स, दे आल्सो टॉक अबाउट हाउ मच अमाउंट हैज बीन बोरोड. बोरोइंग्स फ्रॉम आरबीआई मतलब कितना पैसा बैंक्स ने बोरो किया फ्रॉम आरबीआई, सो दैट वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज द करंट सिचुएशन ऑफ द बैंक्स. सो दीज आर द इंफॉर्मेशन व्हिच यू नीड टू नोट डाउन. सो दिस डेटा इज रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है that as of 30th April 2026, what is the total value of deposits with the scheduled commercial banks? With the scheduled commercial banks, then my answer would be, sir, it is 258.64 lakh crores. अगर कोई पूछे कि नहीं, scheduled commercial banks plus state cooperative banks, scheduled commercial banks plus state cooperative banks plus urban cooperative banks, then what is the value? So then this value is 264 lakh crores. 264 lakh crores. Total credit की बात करूं तो obviously credit is less than the deposits. It is 212 lakh crores. But if I talk about the total credits given by all the banks, that is 217. That is 217 लाख करोड़. ये वैल्यूज इंपॉर्टेंट है भाई, अगर मैं याद करके लाया हूं तो ऑब्वियसली ये इंपॉर्टेंट है, इसलिए मैंने भी याद की है. क्रेडिट टू डिपॉजिट रेशियो ऑफ द बैंक्स, सर, इट हैज इंक्रीज्ड. टुडे इट इज 82%. टुडे इट इज 82%, व्हिच यू नीड टू रिमेंबर. उसके अलावा अगर हम बात करें टोटल इन्वेस्टमेंट डन बाय द बैंक्स, द टोटल इन्वेस्टमेंट डन बाय द बैंक्स इज अराउंड 69 लाख करोड़. 69 लाख करोड़. तो यहां से एक चीज बहुत क्लियरली समझ आ रही है कि सब बैंक्स ने जितना पैसा डिपॉजिट लिया, उस पैसे में से बैंक ने बहुत सारा पैसा लोन पे दिया, और ये जो गैप है बिटवीन द टू, द गैप बिटवीन द टू इज अराउंड 46 लाख करोड़. सो 46 लाख करोड़ इज ऑब्वियसली इन्वेस्टेड. It is obviously invested in the form of government securities, which may become the part of SLR. Some of the funds which are not written over here, they have been holded in the form of cash as CRR. तो अगर आप ध्यान से देखें, so this is 46 lakh crores, but the investment is 69 lakh crore, which clearly gives us the picture that bank has not only invested its deposits, bank has also invested its reserves, its own funds. ये पॉइंट समझ आ रहा है कि ऐसा नहीं है कि बैंक ने सिर्फ और सिर्फ पब्लिक के डिपॉजिट्स को ही इन्वेस्ट किया है, बैंक का जो अपना पैसा है बैंक ने उसे भी इन्वेस्ट किया. दैट इज द रीजन द टोटल इन्वेस्टमेंट इज 69 लाख करोड़, बट द कैपेसिटी टू इन्वेस्ट, दैट इज अ गैप between the deposit and loan, is only and only 46 lakh crore rupees, which includes CRR as well. Then if I talk about borrowings from RBI, the borrowings from RBI is around 32,000 crore. This is the borrowing which is done by the banks from RBI. ठीक है जी. तो ये सारा डेटा है which you need to remember. अब क्वेश्चन ये है कि सर इससे समझ क्या आता है? सर इससे ये समझ आता सबसे पहली चीज कि इंडिया का जो डिपॉजिट है इट इज ग्रोइंग, which is good, but the part to worry is India's credit is also growing. India's credit is also growing. Credit to deposit ratio is still comfortable. There is no harm in it. But if it is low, that will be more beneficial, or that will increase the solvency of the banks. That will undoubtedly increase the solvency of the banks. This is something which you need to remember. अब इसमें क्या क्या है सर? If I talk about these scheduled commercial banks, it includes public sector banks, private banks, foreign banks, payment banks के साथ साथ small finance banks, payment banks, small finance banks, as well as regional rural bank. This count is 120. The count of state cooperative bank as well as urban cooperative bank, while maintaining this entire data is 25. It is 51. 51 urban cooperative banks, 25 स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स, 120 शेड्यूल्ड कमर्शियल बैंक्स. ये सारा डेटा बिलोंग्स टू शेड्यूल्ड कमर्शियल बैंक. ये ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. ये दो चीजें मैंने बताई है बस, डिपॉजिट और क्रेडिट फॉर ऑल द बैंक्स, दैट इज शेड्यूल्ड कमर्शियल बैंक्स प्लस कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स. ठीक है जी, क्लियर है? समझ आ गई बात है? अरे समझ आ गया बताओ यार. अगर आपने गलती से न्यूज आरबीआई की वेबसाइट पे देख ली तो जग सूना सूना सा हो जाएगा, समझ नहीं आएगा इसमें से क्या याद करें क्या देखें. और 99.9% स्टूडेंट दे आर गोइंग टू इग्नोर दिस न्यूज, दे आर नॉट इवन गोइंग टू कंप्लीट दिस न्यूज. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गई बात? आओ जरा इस पे क्वेश्चन देखते हैं. उससे पहले आरबीआई has released the latest statement of position for scheduled commercial banks including RRB, small finance bank, payment banks on 30th of April 2026. इसमें अगर हम बात करें तो इट टॉक्स अबाउट द टोटल डिपॉजिट 258.64 लाख करोड़, इंक्लूडिंग कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स इट इज 264 लाख करोड़. टोटल लोन इज 212 लाख करोड़, इंक्लूडिंग cooperative banks it is 217 lakh crores. Deposit credit to deposit ratio is 82%. That means out of 100 rupees of deposit, 82 is given in the form of loan. Investment done by the banks is 69 lakh crore, which is almost the entire amount is invested in central and state government security, which means most of the investment done by the banks is in central and state government security. This reflects continued compliance with the statutory liquidity ratio requirements and a conservative approach to the liquidity management. Liquidity scenario की अगर हम बात करें तो banks they have quite ample of liquidity, ample of cash with them to manage their day-to-day basis transactions. But if I talk about the borrowings from RBI has declined. It was 32,000 crore rupees from mid-April level. So it has declined from the mid-April level and it was 32,000 crore as of 30th of April 2026. There is a sharp decline, suggested that temporary liquidity pressures have been eased and banks, they have become less dependent on RBI for liquidity adjustment. They have become less dependent on RBI for liquidity adjustment. If I talk about the market borrowings, so market borrowings undoubtedly they have increased, but obviously the value of market borrowing is not important. So the borrowings from the other sources, such as other than RBI, borrowings from sources other than RBI, NABARD and EXIM has increased further, indicating continued use of market-based funding alongside deposit. तो इसका मतलब बैंक जो है, बैंक is raising the funds from the public also with the help of debt instruments. तो बैंक जो debt instruments issue कर रहा है उसकी मदद से public से पैसा raise कर रहा है. So that fund borrowing from the market is also increasing. Then we have active interbank market operations. Yes sir, both the banks they are dependent on the overnight transactions between the banks, which we call it as call money market. And the weighted average call rate of the country is close to the repo rate, which says that yes, repo rate is quite okay enough. If I talk about the food credit is the outstanding of scheduled commercial bank has increased to 1,00,000 करोड़ रुपीज। याद रख पाओ तो रख लो, नहीं कर पाओ तो कोई बात नहीं, इसकी कोई ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस है नहीं, बस आपको पता होना चाहिए। दिस इंक्रीज इज बेसिकली बिकॉज ऑफ हायर लेंडिंग टू प्रोक्यूरमेंट एजेंसीज। तो फूड क्रेडिट मतलब जब आप फूड परचेज करने के लिए लोन लेते हैं, तो आपका मतलब यहाँ पे जो लोन है, दीज आर बोरोड बाय द एजेंसीज लाइक एफसीआई। तो एफसीआई ने लोन लिया, लोन लेकर उससे फूड ग्रेन्स खरीद लिए, सो दैट विल बी अ पार्ट ऑफ फूड क्रेडिट। Number of banks covered, 120 scheduled commercial banks along with 25 scheduled state cooperative banks as well as 51 scheduled urban cooperative banks, they are included. तो क्या क्या याद रखना है? 258 लाख करोड़ रुपीज, दैट इज द डिपॉजिट। याद रखो, स्ट्रॉन्ग इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज, 82% क्रेडिट टू डिपॉजिट रेशियो, मेजॉरिटी इन्वेस्टमेंट इन गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज, less dependency on RBI for liquidity. Food credit has witnessed a seasonal jump because of FCI borrowings, and overall banking system has remained well capitalized and well liquidated. अरे बोल यार, क्लियर हो गया, समझ आ गया? इस क्लास के बाद एक बार आरबीआई की वेबसाइट पे जाना और ये वाला न्यूज ओपन करना फ्रॉम द नोटिफिकेशन सेक्शन, आपको समझ आएगा कि भैया क्या लिखे क्या नहीं है। तो सर ने जो बता दिया वही है, इसके अलावा तो कुछ समझ ही नहीं आ रहा इस न्यूज में से। ठीक है जी, एक सेकंड देना। Okay, ready for a question? Ready for the question on the same news? Let's try to solve a question on the same news. Question क्या है? The total deposit excluding interbank deposits of scheduled commercial banks is 258 lakh crores, including scheduled cooperative banks and urban cooperative banks, that is 264 lakh crores. Total bank credits 212 lakh crores, including the other one 217 lakh crores. Credit deposit ratio is 82% correct. Borrowing from RBI were more than 1 lakh crore. No sir, they were around 30,000 crores. है ना? Food credit outstanding is above 1 lakh crore. That is correct. So answer to this particular question, 1, 2, 3 and 5 are the correct answers. 1, 2, 3 and 5 are the correct answers. तो RBI से जो borrowing है, that is around 30,000 crores. To be very precise, it is around 32,600 crores, जो मुझे याद आ रहा है। बाकी आप देख लेना, आपके पास PDF में आंसर्स लिखे हैं। ठीक है जी। Second question है, take the screenshot 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. You have 5 seconds to take the screenshot. This is the second question for which you will be giving me the answers in the comment section. You will be giving me the answers in the comment section. I guess it's done. I guess it's done. चलो, अगली न्यूज इंपॉर्टेंट है। अगर इसको देखने का नजरिया है, अगली न्यूज को देखने का नजरिया है, उस नजरिए के आधार पर ये सेशन में ये न्यूज मैं आपके साथ डिस्कस करूंगा। वो नजरिया क्या है मैं आपको बताता हूं। माय विजन विद रिस्पेक्ट टू दिस पर्टिकुलर न्यूज इज, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया हैज अनाउंस्ड अ मेजर स्विच ऑक्शन ऑफ गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज वर्थ 30,000 crore rupees. No one is going to ask you what are these value of these switches, what are the maturity years of the switches, but ये mature switch auction is very important to understand. अब ये switch auction है क्या, उसको समझते हैं। We all know that RBI is responsible to issue the government debt instruments, that is to issue the government securities on the behalf of the government. Now let's suppose government has issued a government security of 10,000 rupees face value. Face value means the value which is mentioned on the security which you will be receiving at the time of redemption. जब आप return करेंगे on maturity, you will receive 10,000 and at the time of purchase you will be paying the same amount depending upon the auction scenarios. अब ये इस पे यहाँ पे लिखा था सर, this was issued in 2016 and it is going to mature in let's say 2027. मुझे नहीं पता, एक एग्जांपल बना रहा हूं, तो अगर कुछ गलत हो जाए तो टेंशन मत लेना। 2027 का मतलब दिस सिक्योरिटी इज गोइंग टू मैच्योर आफ्टर 11 ईयर्स। तो अब 11 ईयर्स के बाद क्या होगा सर? 11 ईयर्स के बाद द इंडिविजुअल और द एंटिटी विच इज होल्डिंग this particular document, this particular security, it will be going to RBI और आरबीआई कहेंगे आरबीआई आरबीआई हमारी सिक्योरिटी मैच्योर हो चुकी है, ये लो अपनी सिक्योरिटी और हमें दे दो हमारे 10,000 रुपए। दूसरा फायदा ये है कि सर पिछले 11 सालों में और लास्ट 11 ईयर्स यू हैव बीन रिसीविंग दी इंटरेस्ट, और यहां पे जो इंटरेस्ट मिलता है, इसमें जो इंटरेस्ट मिलता है दैट इंटरेस्ट इज प्रोवाइडेड ऑन 6 months बेसिस। जनरली 6 month बेसिस मतलब हर 6 महीने बाद यू विल गेट द इंटरेस्ट। फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर इंटरेस्ट इज 10%, यू विल गेट yearly interest is 1,000 rupees, you will get 500 rupees every 6 months. That is the interest which you will be receiving. ठीक है, this is a scenario. अब क्या हुआ सर, इसमें चीजें बदल गई। बदली कैसे? आरबीआई ने पब्लिक से कहा कि those who are holding the government securities which are going to mature in 2027, I have a proposal for you. The proposal is I'm ready to buy these securities which are going to mature in 2027, and against these securities I won't be giving you the funds. I won't be giving you 10,000 rupees. Rather I will be issuing a long-term security to you. I will be issuing a long-term security to you which is going to mature, let's say, in 2040. Now if you are willing to hold your investment in the government securities, then you do one thing. You return the security which is going to mature in near future and purchase, or in return, you can exchange it with a long-term security. The best part is I'll offer the same rate of interest. 10,000 की सिक्योरिटी या 10,000 की नई सिक्योरिटी ले जाओ। अब पॉइंट है कि इसमें फायदा क्या? पहला फायदा कि सर जिसने ये इंस्ट्रूमेंट खरीदा था 2016 में, उसे पता है कि गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज खरीदना इतना आसान काम नहीं है। इट्स नॉट सो इजी कि गए जैसे दुकान से सामान लेना हो वैसे जाके गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटी खरीद ली, ऐसा नहीं होता। जब गवर्नमेंट अनाउंस करती है दैट आरबीआई अनाउंस करती है दैट आई एम गोइंग टू इशू द गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज, वी हैव मल्टीपल बायर्स, banks, standalone primary dealers, insurance companies, mutual fund companies, and who not. We have multiple buyers. So here the purchase is done through auction. Which means, let's say the government security face value is 10,000. These institutes, they will come up with an auction that I'm ready to purchase it at 10,100. Somebody says that I'm ready to purchase it at 10,200. Somebody says I'm ready to purchase it as 10,400. So out of all three, the highest bid is 10,400. So RBI will issue this security of 10,000 rupees, issue the security of 10,000 rupees at 10,400 rupees. That 400 rupees is going to be a premium which government has received due to the high demand. ठीक है, अब मैं क्या सोच रहा हूं कि सर मेरे पास 2027 की सिक्योरिटी है और अगर मुझे 2040 की सिक्योरिटी खरीदनी है तो आज तो फिर इजी है दैट आई एम गोइंग टू एक्सचेंज इट, बट दिस एक्सचेंज विल नॉट हैपन विदाउट एन ऑक्शन. अगेन here also the auction will be there, and in the auction we have to come up with two proposals. First is I'm ready to sell my existing government security, let's say at 10,200 example, and I'm ready to purchase the 2040 maturing security at 10,400. तो ये वाली जो पॉइंट है इस पे तो ज्यादा दिमाग चलाता नहीं आरबीआई सिर्फ इसी बिड पे दिमाग चलाएगा. द वन हु हैज गिवन द हाईएस्ट बिड, उनकी सिक्योरिटी को रिसीव किया जाएगा, और अगर मान लो कि उनकी सिक्योरिटी 10,000 रुपीज की है तो उसे एडजस्ट किया जाएगा टू द क्लोजेस्ट वैल्यू. इट विल बी राउंड ऑफ टू द क्लोजेस्ट वैल्यू, एंड उस क्लोजेस्ट वैल्यू पे यू विल बी रिसीविंग द सिक्योरिटी. अब मान लो कि यहाँ पे 400 रुपए कम है, सो यू विल बी आस्क्ड टू पे 400 रुपीज. Along with you have to return your security, and in exchange you will get a security which is going to mature in 2040. This is known as switch auction. बात समझ आई? अरे बोल यार, बात समझ आई? स्विच ऑक्शन क्या है, समझ आया? फायदा क्या सर? पहला फायदा तो ये है कि गवर्नमेंट के लिए फायदा हो गया. जो पैसा कल पे करना था, now it has to be now paid in the near future. So government का जो repayment है, it has now kind of delayed for the future. Second is पहले किसी से पैसा कि पहले किसी को पैसा पे करो, फिर दोबारा गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटी इशू करके वही पैसा रेज करो. It's a double effort of RBI. But now on one side you are receiving back the securities, on the other side you are issuing the long-term security, so there is no need to pay back, rather you are still holding the security for a long period. No Rishabh, no. यहाँ पे अगर आप देखें तो it is done through e-Kuber. It is done through e-Kuber. NDS OM is also involved, but not the way you are thinking. It is done through e-Kuber. e-Kuber पे जाके you have to give your bid और bid selection होगा और bid selection के according this exchange will be done. ड्राइंग समझ आई? अरे ड्राइंग समझ आई? क्लैरिटी हुई? क्लियर है तो एक बार थम्स अप टाइप कर दो. आई विल मूव अहेड. हाउ द गवर्नमेंट अकाउंट वैल्यू, इज इट फेस वैल्यू और इशू वैल्यू? हाउ द गवर्नमेंट अकाउंट्स वैल्यूड. गवर्नमेंट अकाउंट्स वैल्यूड का मतलब कि गवर्नमेंट ने जो पैसा क्रेडिट किया अपने अकाउंट में वो तो 10,400 है, लेकिन गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर जो लाइबिलिटी निकल के आएगी दैट विल बी 10,000 रुपीज ओनली. नाउ यू टेक इट द वे यू वांट टू. गवर्नमेंट्स लाइबिलिटी इज फेस वैल्यू ओनली, बट गवर्नमेंट अमाउंट क्रेडिट इज 10,400 आफ्टर पेइंग द एक्सपेंस व्हिच इज मेड बाय RBI और आफ्टर पेइंग द फ्लोटिंग कॉस्ट. Is this point clear, guys? Is it clear? Okay, चलो इसके बारे में थोड़ा पढ़ते हैं, ध्यान दीजिएगा. So government has announced major switch auction worth 30,000 crores, and this auction which is going to be done. So this auction is going to be done on 18th of May. Bidding होगी 18th of May को और settlement होगा 19th of May को. Why it is important? Sir, it is important because under this operation, investors such as banks, insurance companies, mutual fund companies, primary dealers, they are given an opportunity to exchange government bonds that are maturing in the near future for the bonds that will mature later. So instead of taking back your money in the next few years, would you like to, RBI पूछता है कि भैया instead of taking back your money, would you like to hold another government bond that matures much later? If the investor agrees, the government does not have to repay the money immediately and can postpone the repayment to future years. This is similar to a borrower replacing the short-term loan with a long-term loan so that repayment pressure reduces in the immediate future. That has been done by the government. Source security and destination security. So source security is the security which is going to mature in the near future. That could be maturing in 2027 or 2029, and the destination security is the security which you are going to purchase, which is going to mature in 2040, which is going to mature in 2064, and so on. So the source security is the old government security that the investor is currently holding. And this is the new security which investor will receive against the exchange. For example, 6.79 government security 2027 is source security. इसका मतलब है this is the rate of interest and its maturity is 2027. Against this, government is ready to exchange it for 6.67% of interest for 2035. Now it's up to you. If you are willing that you are ready to exchange it at this value, go for it. If you don't, then you can wait for the maturity. Government के पास जाओ, security दो और अपना पैसा लेके वापस आ जाओ. कोई टेंशन नहीं है, government आप पे pressure नहीं डाल रही. It's your choice. Why government do this? Every year, some government securities they mature and government repay the principal amount. If the large amount of securities mature in same period, the government faces significant redemption pressure. For example, 5 lakh crore bonds are maturing in next 2 years. The government must arrange the amount through tax collection or fresh borrowing. So rather than in order to avoid this pressure, government can go with this particular format of switching. Why government conducts it? As I already said, more time to repay the debt. Redemption will be declined in future. Debt maturity profile will be more balanced. Cash management become easy. Refinancing risk reduces, and the government can plan borrowings more effectively. Remember that as per the current announcement, all the securities which are going to mature in 2027 and 2030, they have been taken back. They have been taken back, or they have been announced by RBI that we will be taking back from 2027, 28, 29. And against this, securities are issued which are going to mature in 2035, 36, 39, and even which are going to mature in 2060. 2060 वहां तक भी दे दिया. बॉन्ड मेच्योरिंग 27, 35 से बदल लो, 28 वाले को 36 या 60 से बदल लो, 29 और 30 वाले को 36 या 39 से बदल लो. इट्स अप टू यू. इट्स अप टू यू. दिस इज दी प्रपोजल गिवन. अब ये प्रपोजल याद नहीं रखना, कोई नहीं पूछेगा, बस ये 30,000 करोड़ याद रखना और हाईएस्ट मेच्योरिटी 2060 वाली भी याद रखनी है, बस. इसके अलावा और कुछ नहीं याद रखना. Now the next point is, what is the significance? As I already said, the significance is why government has issued this 2060 bond. So one of the destination security with a rate of interest of 7.19%, maturity September 2060, ultra long term government security maturing after 34 years. So government को पैसा मिल गया long term के लिए, public ने अपना पैसा invest कर लिया long term के लिए. It reduces the concentration of repayment in the middle term, as well as it demonstrates government confidence in the investors' appetite for long duration securities. होगा कैसे सर? 10:30 बजे से 11:30 बजे तक, 10:30 बजे से 11:30 बजे तक आपकी जो विंडो है वो ओपन होगी on 18th of May, and on 18th of May you have to bid the price, and once you have bid the price, your bid will be selected. If your bid is selected, then settlement will be done very next day. So it is a T+1 settlement. T is the date or time of transaction. T+1 means the day you have done the transaction, or the next day the settlement will be done. After 1 day, settlement will be done. Got it, guys? What is the role of eKuber? Sir, all the bids must be submitted electronically through RBI's core banking solution, that is eKuber. It's a digital platform through which RBI conducts government security auction, treasury operations, and banking transactions. NDSOM is related to what? Secondary market. Here we are talking about kind of a primary market where securities are issued directly by RBI on the behalf of the government. Platform ensures transparency, accuracy, and efficient processing of bids. Who all can participate? Sir, commercial banks, primary dealers, insurance companies, mutual funds, pension funds, and other institutional investors, they can participate. These entities, they are already holding substantial amount of government security, and they can actively participate in this particular market. So will it be really good ROI for much lower interest rate for so much longer time considering other? It's up to you, Neeraj. It's up to you. The reason is, if you are a bank and you have accepted the deposit, let's say at 6% per annum, and you are investing it at 7%, it's a good investment for you because your risk is zero. So think in that manner. Don't think that you are investing your money. Think the investment is done by the institutes, and they are investing the hard-earned money of the public. So if they are investing the hard-earned money of the public, so they will make sure that it should be reinvested in a safe manner. They should be reinvested in a safe format. That is the point. Sir, what if the government fails accumulate the targeted value of government security? Will it go for other financing tools? What if government fails to accumulate the targeted value? पहली बात तो ऐसा होगा नहीं, ट्रू एक्सपेंस. बट मान लो अगर ऐसा हो गया, सो गवर्नमेंट विल borrow the funds through the government securities outside India. Government will borrow the funds from RBI. Government will borrow the funds from all India financial institutes. तब भी बात ना बनी, तो फिर government will use its reserves in order to manage its expenses. But वैसा होगा नहीं. Sir, if it is issued at discount, it gives simple interest. So how does it predict from inflation? Discount मैंने कब बोला? मैंने discount बोला ही नहीं ऋषभ. पता नहीं आप क्या सुनते हो और मैं क्या बोलता हूँ. मैंने कब बोला discount? मैंने कहा it is issued at face value, लेकिन face value is not the actual value you pay. You pay the amount which you have decided or which have been decided according to the bidding. Your interest calculation will be done always and always on the principal, on the face value. Interest calculation will be done on the face value only. So if the interest value is calculated on the face value, so there's no point of talking about the discounted value. Okay? What information you have to submit? This is the information, face value discussed. Minimum bid size is 10,000 rupees. Minimum government security. Remember that long-term government securities which are issued, they are issued with a minimum value of 10,000 and further in multiples of 10,000. There is an organization called FIBL. The price of source security must exactly match the previous day's closing price published by FBIL. So yaad rakhna, FBIL is the same organization which gives the rate which can be used by the banks while deciding their lending rates these days. क्योंकि बैंक lending rate decide करते हैं या तो on the basis of repo rate or maybe 182 or 364 182 days of treasury bills, as well as they can decide the lending rates on the basis of the rates given by FBIL. अच्छा एक चीज बताना, चौथा पैरामीटर क्या है, 91 days या 364 days? चौथा पैरामीटर is the interest paid by government on 91 days or 364 days, which can be used as a base for the banks to decide their lending rates. Do tell me in the comment section. So what will be the price? So participants, they can quote their own preferred price. As I said, 10,000 की जगह 10,200, 400, 600. These prices reflect their expectations regarding market yield and future interest rate movement. The government evaluate these prices to decide which bid is more favorable. Obviously, the highest bid is more favorable for the government. Highest bid is more favorable for the government. The selection price or the cutoff price is the price at which government decides to issue the securities. For example, government ने कहा कि हम 1 करोड़ securities issue करना चाहते हैं. So a party comes up with 50 lakh rupees of bidding और उन्होंने कहा I'm ready to purchase one security at 10,400. Second party came up with 30 lakhs of security, demand 10,300. Next one comes up with 20 lakhs of security for 10,500, and last one comes up with a demand of 100 lakh crore rupees of security, that is 1 crore की security की demand की है, but at 10,100 rupees. तो भैया सबसे पहला जो highest है 10,400, इसको security issue होगी, 10,300 इसको issue होगी, 10,500 इसको इशू होगी. यहाँ पे 1 लाख करोड़, यहाँ पे एक करोड़ की सिक्योरिटीज पूरी हो गई तो एक कट ऑफ है कि भैया अब इससे ज्यादा हम इशू नहीं करेंगे क्योंकि हमारे पास सिक्योरिटी बची नहीं है, दैट इज अ पॉइंट. ठीक है, अब मान लो ऐसा हुआ कि सर ये जो 10 लाख, ये जो 20 लाख करोड़ रुपीज है या 20 लाख रुपीज ही है सिर्फ, इसका एक डिमांड आई 10 लाख की, दूसरी डिमांड आई let's say 20 lakhs, तो उस केस में क्या होगा सर? उस केस में दोनों को सिक्योरिटी दी तो कितनी चलेगी? 30 लाख्स की चली गई, 50 लाख्स की सिक्योरिटी यहां से चली गई, तो 30 + 50 इज व्हाट? दैट इज 80. बचा कितना? 20. डिमांड कितने की है? 30 की. सो यू विल बी गेटिंग 20 लाख रुपीज ऑफ सिक्योरिटी. दैट इज नोन एज पार्शियल इशू. ये पॉइंट समझ आया? या दोबारा बता दूं? बता देता हूं, कोई बात नहीं. आज 7 बजे क्लास है, याद रखना. मैं भी थोड़ी इसलिए जल्दी कर रहा हूं ताकि 7 बजे वाली क्लास के लिए रेडी हो जाए. ठीक है, तो मैं ये कहना चाह रहा हूं कि मान लो गवर्नमेंट ने कहा वी आर रेडी टू इशू सिक्योरिटीज वर्थ 1 करोड़. ईच सिक्योरिटी इज ऑफ 10,000 rupees. पार्टी 1 कम अप विद अ बिड और उन्होंने बिड किया 30 लाख रुपीज ऑफ सिक्योरिटी और 10,000 वाली सिक्योरिटी ही इज रेडी टू परचेज एट 10,500. दूसरे ने बिड किया 50 लाख रुपीज ऑफ सिक्योरिटी एट 10,400. तीसरे ने बिड किया लेट्स से 40 लाख रुपीज ऑफ सिक्योरिटी एट 10,300. चौथे ने बिड किया 50 लाख रुपीज ऑफ सिक्योरिटी एट 10,200. पांचवें ने बिड किया 1 करोड़ की सिक्योरिटी एट 10,100. तो पहला इशू यहां हो गया, 30 इशू हो गया आउट ऑफ 1 करोड़. 50, 30 + 50 80. 40 में से 20 इशू होगा, तो दिस इज पार्शियल इशूइंग. और 20 लाख इनको इशू करने के बाद 1 करोड़ पूरा कंज्यूम हो गया, 1 करोड़ रुपए कंज्यूम हो गए. और यहां ये क्या बन जाएगा? 10,300 इज द कट ऑफ रेट. 10,300 is the cutoff rate. That is what I'm trying to say. Harsh Gupta, then again government will do the same. Then again government will do the same. If required, पैसा होगा तो पे कर देंगे, नहीं होगा तो सेम करेंगे. Then we have pro rata allotment, means partial allocation in proportion to the size. If two bidders 100 crores but only 100 crore is remaining, they will get 50 crores each. और अगर एक ही है 40 लाख का, जैसे मैंने एग्जांपल लिया था, 20 लाख अवेलेबल है तो 20 दे देंगे, बाकी 20 छोड़ देंगे. But if a person switches his security but later wants to opt out before the new maturity date, yes, they can go to secondary market and sell its security. That is correct. Ashley, that is correct. Green shoe option case में सर एक्स्ट्रा नहीं देंगे. ग्रीन शू ऑप्शन बेस में एक्स्ट्रा गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज को कम ही दिया जाता, कम ही इशू किया जाता, बट अगर रिक्वायरमेंट लगे तो दे सकते हैं. बट वॉट एवर इज द लास्ट इशू, जिस प्राइस पे लास्ट इशू हुआ है, दैट विल बिकम द कट ऑफ रेट. बट जनरली ग्रीन शू इसमें जाता नहीं है. तो भैया सोच समझिए तो पैसे रेज कर रहे हो और यहाँ मार्केट स्टेबिलिटी का कोई मतलब नहीं है, तो यहाँ पे ग्रीन शू पे ज्यादा गवर्नमेंट ध्यान नहीं देती. गवर्नमेंट ध्यान देती है कि जितना अनाउंस किया उतना ही दे, उससे एक्स्ट्रा ना दे. बट लगे कि बहुत ज्यादा इशू हो रहा है तो थोड़ा बहुत एक्स्ट्रा गवर्नमेंट दे सकती है, इससे ज्यादा नहीं. अगला पॉइंट आता है स्विच रेशियो. स्विच रेशियो मींस सोर्स सिक्योरिटी डिवाइडेड बाय डेस्टिनेशन सिक्योरिटी. मान लो यू हैव अ सोर्स सिक्योरिटी ऑफ वैल्यू, प्राइस ऑफ सोर्स सिक्योरिटी इज लेट्स से 10,000, price of destination security is 5,000, so this comes out to be 2, which means against one source security you are getting 2 destination security. That is known as switch ratio. ये बस एक पॉइंट है, याद करना हो देख लेना, छोड़ना हो छोड़ देना, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करते हैं. Consider the following statement. In a switch auction, investors surrender existing government securities and receive new government securities in exchange. That is correct. The main objective of switch auction is to reduce near-term redemption pressure and improve the maturity profile. True. In May 2026, auction notified 30,000 crores. True. Settlement will be T+1 basis. True. The price of source security must be quoted exactly at the previous working day's closing price published by previous closing day price published by whom? Sir, published by FBIL. That is also correct. तो आंसर क्या बनेगा सर? डी ऑप्शन इज द करेक्ट आंसर. 1 2 3 4 5 इज द करेक्ट आंसर. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गया पॉइंट, समझ आ गया. गेट रेडी फॉर द क्वेश्चन फॉर अ होमवर्क. 1 2 3 4 5. You have 5 seconds. Take the screenshot and then we will be moving ahead. Done. I hope you have taken the screenshot, everybody. चलो, वी हैव 2 more न्यूज. आसान है, एक बार पढ़ लीजिएगा. अगली क्लास में मैं इसके दोनों क्वेश्चंस आपके साथ सॉल्व कर दूंगा और अगर कोई डाउट होगा तो अगली क्लास में पूछ लेना. सो दीज आर द 2 easy न्यूज विच यू कैन ऑब्वियसली कवर. आई विल बी सॉल्विंग देयर क्वेश्चंस इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास. इससे ज्यादा उस पर समय लगाने की जरूरत नहीं है. If you want to download the PDF, it will be available on the Telegram channel. And today at 7 PM, I'm going to discuss RBI circulars from the month of March with the help of MindnorMs. तो अगर आप चाहते हैं MindnorM की मदद से RBI circulars को कवर करना तो भैया जुड़ना मत भूलिएगा. आज शाम 7 बजे लगभग 1-1.5 घंटे की क्लास होगी और 1-1.5 घंटे में लगभग 12 से 15 के बीच में total count है of these circulars which I will be discussing, and these circulars are really very important for your upcoming examination. ऋषभ, सेबी सर्कुलर्स भी इंपॉर्टेंट है, स्पेशली इन द मंथ ऑफ मार्च काफी सारे सर्कुलर्स आए थे, बट वो सर्कुलर्स हम कवर कर लेंगे हमारी फाइनेंस करंट अफेयर्स की क्लास में. तो उसमें लिमिटेड सर्कुलर्स कवर करेंगे सेबी से रिलेटेड, क्योंकि पहली बात तो सर्कुलर्स के चांसेस सेबी वाले से आने के चांसेस कम है. अगर 2 क्वेश्चन आए भी तो उसके लिए पढ़ना बहुत पड़ेगा, बट फिर भी हम वो सर्कुलर जरूर कवर करेंगे विच आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. डोंट वरी. ठीक है. So I hope you all will be joining me today at 7 PM. I'll be sharing the PDF of this session in some time. Bye-bye. Take care. Good luck. Don't forget to share the answers of the questions discussed in the comment section below. See you soon. Bye-bye. Take care. Good luck. God bless you all.